week number 2 in quarantine.
Let's introduce ourselves to our beautiful audience. What up? My name is Bianca,
And I'm Adrianne.
and we're two independent women living in New York City going through hella stuff. And that is so true this past few weeks.
I know, can you imagine? And that's why we're here, so that we can share and reflect on our crazy experiences and hopefully you can learn from it.
If not, you can just laugh with us.
Yes, so in this episode of Women in the Wild, we're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna play speed round of Never Have I Ever.
Whatever.
Yeah, so we'll start with that, and then after that, on the later half, we'll go through other stories.
We have a few stories. We're gonna be answering two questions after the Never Have I Ever, which
Hmm.
are Adrian.
What are the questions? One is, have you ever dated someone or was interested in them just because they remind you of someone else? And then the next one is it okay to think about someone else while in a relationship?
Ooh. Okay, I'm so excited. But let's start with our with our Never Have I Ever. So I'll go
Yes,
first. Oh,
yes,
and
go
basically,
first.
so for everyone listening, I actually have a deck of Never Have I Ever cards. So I just randomly took 15 cards, and they're all random. And then we're gonna be talking about whether or not we've done each one of these.
Yeah, and
So
if there's a story behind like why you did or didn't do it. So that's how we're gonna do Never Have I Ever. It's probably not like the typical rules, but we're doing this quarantine in our own bedroom. So
exactly,
yeah.
which explains the audio. It's a little bit different. Also, that's why
Hmm.
there's no video for this episode precisely.
Sorry about the audio problems, guys. Yes,
But
because
it's
we're just in our
quarantine time.
pajamas, no makeup, haven't brushed my hair in 3 days. Let's go.
Word. So, have you ever had someone complain about your breath? I
That's
haven't.
a yes for me.
What? What a jerk.
Yeah. No, actually, that's fine because this is when you're, I guess, in a long-term relationship, at some point, you're just
Oh, I see.
very like blunt. And especially like when you're waking up next to that person and you're giving them good morning kisses, you're
Oh,
gonna get
yeah.
bad breath in the morning. Sorry, it's just inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one, you read it.
Okay. To the right. So, cleaned up my siblings' puke. No, I've never had to do that.
I'm actually the
Yeah.
youngest, and they're two guys. So that would be funny if they're like puking and I'm like looking out after them. But no, that hasn't happened.
That's true. I didn't grow up with my brothers and they're younger than me, so even if they would be drinking or like sick, it was never really my responsibility at least.
So the
Uh,
next question is, have you ever been to a psychic? And for this one, my answer is not voluntarily. I mean, I wasn't forced into it, but I never actually like went out of my way to see a psychic. It was more like an event at my college where they brought like this woman who would read your tarot cards and like read the palm of your hand and stuff like that. And I was like, sure, why not? And this psychic told me that I was going to be in a romantic relationship and that it would be from someone on campus. End of junior year, you already saw everyone on campus. Like you already like everything that had to happen already happened basically. I've seen everyone on this campus and there's just no possibility, right? So I was
mhm.
like, sure. But then my senior year came and I met my ex-boyfriend. and and he was always on campus. I just never really noticed him. And it was like this
Mm.
random guy that I started hanging out after I met at a party and then
Oh wow.
yeah.
That's a good story. Yeah, and that's crazy because it's like your senior year, like people are usually like moving away after that because you went to college in the city. So like
Yeah.
not really everybody stays in the city after college and stuff. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yep.
All right,
Next.
next one. Who's reading at me? Try
You.
to contact a deceased person, so like
Oh
someone
my
who's already
gosh.
passed on.
Have you?
Uh, I think I have, but like not with like a medium or anything crazy like that. I think it was just like, well, because I never met my dad, so when I was a kid, like my relatives would say. that like I would try to write like notes to my dad, like
Aw,
physical notes.
that's so cute.
And that's it. And like they would just find it because I wouldn't actually talk about it. But like I guess they because when you're a kid, like people go through your stuff, which is so
Oh,
annoying.
so
So like they found the letters, and I guess that's like one way, but like never anything too crazy or like
annoying.
like a horror movie kind of try to contact a medium. I don't think I've even ever used like those Ouija board things.
Yeah,
I'm too scared.
me too. But I've definitely tried, you know, through prayer and like just
Uh-huh.
thoughts.
Yeah, like just missing them, and that's about it.
Gone
Let's
somewhere with
see.
a date and left with someone else. I kind of
Oh,
did.
you have a story. You told me this, but you should tell
Yeah.
the audience. Yeah,
Well,
because my answer is a no.
it's a kind of. It's not literally like I went somewhere with the date and then I left the place with someone else. That's not what happened. But I did go on a first date with someone to meet up with a group of friends of mine, which was this is like the weirdest first date I've ever had too. It's like who meets your friends on a first date, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, in this group of friends, my friends also brought new friends. So it was like a bunch of new people, random people. And one of the friends that my friend brought was really cute. And then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, but I'm on a date, but this guy's so cute and he's pretty cool and like he speaks Spanish and I don't know, like I was conflicted because I knew my date was there, but I was really attracted to this new guy in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was polite and like a good date nevertheless. We had a great time, we danced, we laughed, everything was great. And he tried to ask me out again, but I was like, you know what, I didn't leave with a new person, but I met a new person, like a new love interest while in a date.
Uh,
Yeah. And I don't want to get into what happened
my
with that
story's
dude, but that's another story.
yeah, but technically you didn't leave. So technically the answer is no. But like that's a cool story because then you still met up with the other guy after. That's awesome.
Yeah, and like there was a time during the dates that I talked to the other dude and we saw that we were
Hmm.
vibing and he gave me his phone number and his Instagram. So you know there was like something there,
Yeah,
but I didn't act on it
exactly. And plus it
obviously.
was just the first date, so like you did at least you were respectable to your actual date and like waited
Mhm.
to go contact the guy that you were actually vibing with.
Yeah, I didn't want to get them mixed or anything.
All
Cool.
right. So next, drunkenly eaten my roommate's
I
food.
haven't, have you?
Uh, no. I'm very respectful with snacks because like if somebody touches my food, I get so upset. So if that's done to me, like no, I just can't. I don't share food.
I probably have
Um,
not drunken, sober, but
mhm.
sober, I have stolen like a little bit, but like a little bit, you know, of food. Maybe like I need a little bit
Mhm.
of sugar, so I take their sugar without telling, you know, stuff like that. But not like a meal
Yeah.
or like a full on.
No, never a full
Yeah.
meal. I think I've taken like milk at one
Yeah,
point,
that kind of stuff.
but that's about it. Um, and like if I make food or like let's say like we're out and stuff, I would rather order like fries for the table and like my own fries than to have to share. Or like if I'm cooking, I'll make you your own portion.
True.
Don't get from mine.
That's
I'll make you two extra rolls. I just am not gonna share my four with you. Like I had in my mind, I'm gonna eat four pieces. I'm gonna eat four
and you
pieces.
don't mess with that,
I'll
okay?
make you your own. No.
Word. So next is have you ever been on a flash mob?
Yeah, I mean, like I was in like dance mobs, but like not a flash dance mob. Because like I went to private school in the Philippines, and like we would have this like every year there would be a field demonstration, is what we would call it, field demo, and basically all grade levels have to dance. Like we're put in costumes, like we practice out in the field, like we take class time out of
That's
this,
cool.
and it's like a celebration for Santo Niño because it's a Catholic
Uh-huh.
school. So like it's basically like dances and stuff and it's yeah, we have like silly costumes. Like the parents eat it up because
Of
it's like, oh, all the
course.
children
Oh,
performing. Yeah, but not a flash mob.
that's so cute. So a
Yeah.
no for me.
Okay, next. Spoken out during a wedding
Oh my
ceremony.
gosh,
What
no.
does spoken out mean? Like a
No, no,
speech
no.
or
What?
like you went off on
I don't know. You
someone?
know, in weddings when they say "speak now" or "forever not talk" or whatever. I know it in Spanish, not
Oh,
in English.
mm. You know what's so funny? As a wedding photographer, that doesn't get said
Really?
anymore
Oh,
during the vows. Like people don't say that anymore. Yeah, so that's a no. And like if anyone's getting married, like no one really actually asks that question anymore. It's like kind of an old tradition that's passe now. So we both haven't. Um, all right, next. Been caught enhancing my resume. I guess that doesn't even really apply. Like, how do you get caught enhancing a resume?
oh, if you're in a job and in that job you're enhancing your resume to apply to another job.
I guess, like, is it saying, like, if you didn't graduate from college, for example, and you put that you did, and then they check into it, and it's like, oh, yeah, you actually did not graduate.
No, I don't think
Something
enhancing
like that?
implies that you're lying. The way I read this is for, and I've done that. Like when I was at my previous job, sometimes I would be applying to another job, and that was awkward as hell because it's like,
Mm,
why are you applying to another job? You know.
gotcha. That's a yes, then. Cool. We apologize for the audio quality, guys. It's kind of been a real one over here. So last question. Slept with someone my friend was interested in. No, that hasn't happened yet.
I don't think so either. Nope.
Cool, simple enough. So that concludes our speed round of.
Never have I ever.
And so now we promise you that we got two questions, and they're kind of hard questions to answer. Should we start with have you ever dated someone?
Because they remind us of someone else.
Oh yes, that's a yes for me. Is it a yes for you too?
Yep. You go first.
I go first. Um, let's see. I mean, it's just like that's the psychological part, right? Because then you're projecting like what you want. And we talked about this last week about how like you project like things onto another person, and so you end up feeling like, oh, they're perfect and all of this, but meanwhile, it's like you've just met and you're creating this picture already. Um, but actually, like at the end of the day, they just remind you of that person, but actually, they're not that same person. And then you have to live with that thought for the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess that happened like shortly after that San Francisco guy. When I went back swiping away, I was trying to look for like people that even looked like him, resembled him, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny because like now a month or like 2 months out from that, I'm back to like having a diverse swipe portfolio again. Yeah,
Is
they
that
don't
a
all look the
term?
same anymore. I guess, right? We still gotta be diverse, call out biases and things like that. So, I totally did that just recently, actually. And maybe the story about like before, uh,
Oh, wait. Do you mean like in your settings you had a specific race?
specific what?
Race.
What do you mean?
You know, on Bumble, and I
Oh, I don't think you
guess,
can even do that,
yeah,
and
you
that's so
can.
wrong if they do. You can?
Yeah, you can, I think.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't think it's
I
wrong.
mean,
You
I'm
have
gonna
a
keep it
type.
off. You have a type, I guess. Yeah, and also
I don't
like
use it,
especially
but
if it's culturally like you're putting in religion into it, then I guess it's super important. If you tie
yeah,
those two things together and that's important to you, your values and your ethics and your religion, then yeah. But I actually never even knew that that was a setting.
yeah.
I'm gonna go check that out.
I've used it for religion.
Mm, nice. Oh wow, I didn't even know you can do that. That's perfect.
Hmm.
All right, swiping's about to get really, really um curated.
Oh, yeah. I was so picky to find someone. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it was worth it because, like, the person I'm talking to with is like, it works because we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about things that I care about and stuff like that. But anyway,
So what's your
so
story?
No, but did you find a person when you were trying to find a person similar to that one guy?
No, it was
Oh,
like needle in a haystack. Because at the end of the day, I realized like I need to stop this toxic behavior because I'm not going to find somebody like that guy. And even if I do find somebody who looks like him and has the same interests as him, it's still not gonna be the same.
yeah. And
Um, and I
also,
guess
we
it's also, go
you
ahead.
go.
Oh, it's the
You
same
go.
thing as like when you're coming out from like a long-term relationship, you're used to certain habits and mannerisms or routines that you're gonna try to find the same exact person. Or like some people are, it's either two things. You find like you're so unattractive already to that person, and that's why you're breaking up. So you find the complete opposite of that person, or you find somebody exactly the same.
Yep. Oh,
It's your story.
I was gonna say that thank God you didn't find someone like him at the end of the day because turns out he's not someone you wanted to be with. Remember?
Exactly. Blocked his ass. That's gone. Bye.
um, I definitely had that phase last year after I really, really liked someone and it couldn't work out even if we wanted it to. And then I was just like I felt like life was unfair. Like the only thing that made it not happen was because distance basically. So I was like, I know I can find this exact same person in New York. Like I just have to really look.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I went on a few days with guys that had similarities, like same culture or like they looked similar physically or they kind of had the same interests, even same
Mm-hmm.
career. But it never worked out with those people. Not only because obviously it's not the same person, but also I think that's such a bad place to or like base of a relationship. Like, oh, the reason I'm with you is because you remind me of this one guy that I text that I went out with. Like, that's horrible. Like, of course that's not gonna work because at the end of the day, it's not even about that person that you're seeing at the moment. It's about you not being over someone else. And I even talked to him and everything about it, and he was like, "Yeah, you're clearly not over this other guy, and it's not gonna work if you're like thinking about him while you're with me." So it was super
Mm-hmm.
unfair too.
Yeah. I guess the other thing to add to that is, okay, that's like the more toxic side of it, but also there's a good part of it that it's like if you've had really good male, I mean, if you're or like whatever person you aspire to be, if you had a good role model and that's why you're going after this person, then cool, do that. But like if it's because you're not over someone, okay, maybe like you need some time still, or like we need some time to like think about it. But there are also good aspects of it that it's like, yeah, I am interested in somebody because they are they share these qualities of like, let's say my grandfather who I
Yeah.
really look up to. That's like, oh, cool, you remind me of this person. Or like, oh, there's this like really cool business person I met and like um this person has like a good quality of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, cool. Yeah, that's like the better part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's hopefully the place that we should be at when we want to when we're interested in somebody and like because they reminded you of someone else, hopefully it's because it's like you admire them
Yeah,
and
that's a
not
good
because
point.
you're getting over them.
That's a
And
really
I've
good
been
point.
there. I've totally freaking been there where it's like that's why they're called rebounds.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out. Like, it's not always bad that someone reminds you of someone else.
Yeah, that's basically my point in that. And we're all guilty. Like this is something that we do constantly because we're humans, right? Like there was this post that it was like what did it say exactly? That it's like yeah, I thought I found the one and then it's like maybe I could still especially like with how dating works nowadays. It's kind of like, oh, maybe I can do better because there's like literally a million choices at the palm of your fingertips. Um and so like and we've discussed this in the previous episodes of the podcast that it's like this is why it's continuously important to know exactly like what you want and to figure that out because until you do, it's just a bunch of swiping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta know when you have to stop. I don't think you're settling. Like, of course, they're gonna have things that are not great, and of course, you're gonna
Hmm.
find things that are annoying, especially as you keep getting to know each other. So
Yep.
you just gotta remind yourself, well, but they are feminist and they value family and they respect me. Like if those are your core things, then but yeah, I think about that all the time. Like when I find a new person that I really like, and then I'm like, they're not really perfect. Like every other date, you're like finding new things.
Mhm.
But then I have to remind myself, like, okay, but this is why I like them, and as long as they fit
Mhm.
the things that I know work for me, that's what's important.
Yeah. Because if you're looking for Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect, it does not exist.
Nope.
It is, these things take time, effort, and just communication, I think,
Yeah, that's
in my
always a great
opinion.
tool. Like if there's something that's bothering you that much, communicate. I'm sure you can both meet in the middle or something.
The next question that we have, let me pull it up because my phone. Is it okay to think about somebody else while in a relationship? And I have a quick
I
answer
mean,
to that. Yeah, you can think about people. Other people are attractive. That's good. Keep it alive like that. A little competition never hurt anybody. But to actually act on it is super different. What's your answer? That's my answer. Super short.
well, it all depends on what you're thinking, how often you're thinking it, how intense,
Mm.
the thinking is. Before I even do
Mhm.
anything, I really have to finish my relationship because this is a super key indicator that I am done.
Mm.
So there's always something that is unresolved, and that's why your brain is already going elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, crushes are part of life. Like, you're gonna crush on some people. You're gonna find other people attractive. Like, people are, doing amazing things. It's hard not to like get pulled in. But that's it. I mean, it's admiration. I think
Yeah.
that's the way I view it. When I was in a long-term relationship, things come up like that. And luckily for my previous relationship, we had a really healthy attitude about crushes and like other people entering like our world, basically. Um, yeah, at some point we were swiping together on
Oh my
Tinder just
gosh.
for fun. It's like let's see what's
Yeah,
out
but
there.
that's
And
different.
it's kind of nice because then like I said in the beginning, it was like the competition's nice. It reminds you that it's like, oh, yeah, totally she can be with other people and not me. I have to be consistent and like work hard towards
Hmm.
this relationship and still choose this person
Hmm.
every day
I
after
agree
this.
with you.
And we were good about that for a bit.
I agree with you. And I actually want a relationship like that too, where we're both so open minded that we know that there's other people out there.
Hmm. We even got some like date ideas from all these people because then there would be like prompts where it's like, oh, so what do you do? And it's like, oh yeah, like that restaurant. Let's go check it out.
That's fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was a funny time. I think we started that page, that Tinder page, because we were trying to look for a third, but it never actually happened.
That's
But it was nice. It was a nice exercise in the beginning of like when we were kind of entertaining the idea.
who would have
Yeah,
thought?
and that's why I'm like I'm really open, but also like we lived together. There was a great amount of
Hmm.
trust. Like this was a relationship where like we knew
Hmm.
everything. So it was a good place to like be in. Obviously, don't go online and like start swiping with this person to antagonize your partner. Then it's like, oh, look at all these guys I can
Yeah.
have. No, you don't put it in their face. You involve each other in the process, and you include that person that you're
Yeah.
with. But like you said, different experiences, and that's really cool that like at least you acknowledged even months before, like a few days, however long it took you, but you ended it. You did the responsible thing.
Listen, if you're
Hmm.
that unhappy with your current partner that you're thinking of going elsewhere, instead of cheating, which is what many people do, break up with your current person and then be single and be happy and do whatever. But like, I think what leads to cheating is like not accepting that
Yeah.
word.
All right. So please share with us other things of like what kinds of things that you've never done or have done. Share with us. And maybe our audience can give us like other never have I ever for like the next maybe 5 or 6 episodes from now. We can put together some things that our audience is like, never have I ever. Like never have I ever seen a pizza rat.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, or like never have I ever been pooped on by a
Ooh.
bird. I mean, that's never happened to me, at least so far. Yeah, so guys, think about like never have I ever questions. Maybe we'll make a new episode based off of what you guys have given us.
And we will get,
Yeah, lecture everyone to stay at home that you love.
yeah. It's been tough for me, but
Yeah.
you're right, Adrian. I shouldn't invite people over.
All right, guys and gals, we will see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.